Okay, Wes, I want to talk about your budget for your trip to Japan. You came over here in mid-May and you stayed for about 6 weeks, and I think it would be helpful to let a lot of people know about how you budgeted this trip, how much money you spend, your financial situation, and all that. So let's just kick it off, man. Can you talk a little bit about the currency?
Okay, thanks. I wanted to mention the currency because I'm going to be speaking in dollars, and I know your viewers are from all over the world. However, the yen is like, 1 yen is approximately equal to a penny, so the figures are huge, and you get used to that, as you know, being in Japan for a while. But if you use dollars, which is roughly equivalent to 100th of a yen, or 100 yen, sorry, then
Okay.
you're a lot closer to currencies like the euro and the British pound and the Canadian dollar. So it's a little bit easier for people to understand, I think.
Okay. And I'm aware that you are a huge roller, pimping it out over there in the desert in California.
I make the money.
Okay, so can you talk a little bit about your financial situation?
Yeah, I think that's relevant because sometimes when I hear about people talking about their travel plans, and especially going to Japan and all that, I'm like, well, what does this guy make? You know, is this relevant to me at all? And so I just wanted to say that I don't make a ton of money. I'm not making $30,000 a year. I saved for my Japan trip for a long time, and I do things like I don't drive. That's a lifestyle choice, you know, and
Yeah.
And
I
that's
don't
not
drive either.
Yeah. It's very Japanese to not drive, so that's not really my reasoning. My reasoning is that I have a lot more money to spend on my life if I don't drive. So anyhow, yeah, it's I saved for a long time for this trip, packed away tax returns and all that, and so if you're somebody who doesn't make a ton of money, it's feasible.
That's good. That's very encouraging. Okay, and how much did you spend on this trip total?
I spent about $4,000
For 6
on this
weeks.
trip. Right.
Okay, and how did you feel with $4,000? Did you feel like you were cramping your style, or you had, you know, a comfortable amount of money to spend? And keep in mind that you were in Tokyo, which is like the most expensive place in Japan. So, how did you feel with $4,000 budget?
Well, like I said, I planned for this trip for a while, so I found cheap lodging. I had everything planned out, and I went to study. I went to study school. I didn't go there to jump on a Shinkansen and go all over the country, and I didn't go there to buy a bunch of omiyagi like so many people do. And so when I was there, I had a room and I had a kitchen, and I did a lot of my own cooking, and I tried to remind myself that I could spend and go out and eat, and that night I really did as much as I wanted to, but I was frugal. So
But I mean, you're probably just like me, where like your normal life is frugal. I mean, my normal life is frugal,
Right.
so I don't feel like I'm really sacrificing anything because I'm just used to this mode of life. You know, it feels comfortable for me to be a stingy motherfucker.
yeah, I don't really. The things that I enjoy doing don't require spending a lot of money. And some of the people in the Gaijin house, like some Canadians, moved in just before I left, and they love to go out shopping, and they were blowing money, and you can. And they got a lot of stuff real cheap too, but they were just buying stuff, and they were going to the robot bar and the maid cafes, and you can spend money that way. But I was there to study Japanese, and I would visit temples, and I would take bike rides, and I would walk along the rivers, and I would go to Shibuya and Shinjuku and all these places, and you don't have to buy everything when you get there. So.
Yeah, it's true. Temples are free. You can go to most temples for free. Shrines are free. Riding a bike is free. So,
right.
But you can easily spend like hundreds of dollars a day just on trains, taxis, eating out, buying crap. You could easily spend hundreds of bucks a day if you had a limitless budget. But
Right.
I think you can have a good time in Japan too, just doing it on the cheap. You know, I would be perfectly content doing what you did, just going to going to temples, riding my bike around. So yeah, let's break it down, man. So $4,000 for your trip. Let's start with the airfare.
Okay, I was lucky. Airfare has just gone up a lot lately, and so when I bought my ticket, it was just like 800 something. I think it was 880, and after taxes and fees, it was about $1,000. So that was not bad.
That's what I would expect to pay. Like if I was flying back to America, that's usually what I pay, somewhere around that. So yeah, I think you got a good deal there. Back in the day, like about 10, 15 years ago, I was paying close to $500 for a round-trip ticket. So
yeah,
times have changed, huh?
Right, but I just looked again, and they've gone up a lot just in the last 6 months or so. I'm looking at like 13 to 16 now. It looks like.
Wow. Okay.
Before taxes and fees. So.
Yeah, we should probably mention this. You came in May. How was the climate and everything? You know, for coming to Japan, coming to Tokyo in May. How do you feel about that?
Well, around that time, it starts to get really hot and muggy. However, it's also rainy season kicking in. So when I got there, it was hot and muggy, and then it started to rain a lot.
Okay.
But if you're into Japan, I hope you're not into Japan because it's a beautiful beach or anything. It's not. Japan is cold in the winter and it's hot in the summer, really muggy, and there's not a lot of beaches and that. So yeah, I didn't mind at all. I walked everywhere in the rain and I just got soaked and it was beautiful. I was in Japan in the rain.
Cool, man. Cool. So your ticket was about $1,000. How much would you say? Let's talk about your lodging. What kind of lodging did you have?
Okay, now this isn't something everybody can do. I was staying for at least a month, and if you stay for at least a month, and this has to do with, I don't know if it's municipal law or what, but you can't stay in this kind of housing for less than a month. They can't let you. Anyhow, I stayed with Sakura House. Sakura House is huge. They're all over Tokyo and probably more of Japan, I don't know. And there are other houses like that, and we call them gaijin houses. They're a place where foreigners, can live in there for as long as they want. And I stayed for 6 weeks. I was in a dorm. I could have had my own room for about $700 for a month, but I had a dorm, so it was just $450 for the month.
That means you were sharing your room with another person.
One other person in my room, yeah. And there was also a deposit of $300, and they keep $100, and I was there for 6 weeks, not a month. So altogether, it was about $700 for my lodging there, and that also gave me a kitchen. So the kitchen saved me a lot of money because if I had to eat out I eat a lot more than 3 meals a day. Really, I would have been going through cash.
That's super cheap. I mean, if you're comparing that to staying in a hotel, for example, yeah, that's super cheap. Yeah.
But there are a lot of. Sorry.
It's a pretty good deal that your deposit was only $300. I mean, if you were to like rent an apartment, which would probably be almost impossible if you're just coming here as a tourist, I mean, like you're gonna pay thousands of dollars. So you got a good deal.
Yeah.
Oh, what part of Tokyo was the Sakura House in?
Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
It was in Taito-ku, which is right along the Sumida-gawa River runs through there, and it's right by a huge, famous temple in Asakusa, and it's a beautiful historic area. That area was like the area in Tokyo, the hottest area until World War II, when it got pretty tore up by a certain country we won't name. But anyhow.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's still geisha in this area, which is rare in Japan to have real geisha still, and there's beautiful temples. There was festivals the whole time I was there. I fell in love with Taito-ku, and I can't wait to see it again.
That's awesome, man. Do you think you could leave a link to that Sakura House and maybe a Google Map link or something like that?
Sure, I can give you all the links that I used.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's talk about what else is there. Food. How did you budget out food?
Okay, should we talk about the school first? Let's do food.
Okay. Stop trying to run the interview. I'm the interviewer.
Okay. Anyhow, food, like I said, I did a lot of cooking at home at the Secluded house, and that this is another strange thing with my situation. I'm not a seafood eater.
Okay.
Of all the things I love about Japan, I don't eat crab, lobster, shrimp, squid, octopus. I don't eat pork. A lot of that stuff is kind of a little bit Jewish, but I'm not Jewish, incidentally. But so I ate out as much as I wanted. I love sushi, and I would go out and have sushi sometimes, and I would go out and have ramen and that. But
did you go to those kaiten sushi, the rotating sushi places?
Yes, yeah, I like those.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that they have these. It's called kaiten sushi, and you just some places are really cheap. Like you can get a little tray of sushi. It's 2 sushis on a plate for like $1. $1, 100 yen.
Right,
and then,
all
and
sorts of stuff goes by.
Yeah, so I mean, there's cheap places to eat where you can get like ramen and set meals for like under $8 or something, and then there's a whole gamut. You can go to really expensive places, yakiniku, which is like it's like fried beef on a grill or whatever. Did you ever have yakiniku?
Yes, right over in Akihabara area, me and a friend went out for it, and wasn't too big on it, but a lot of people love it.
Okay, so how much would you say you spent daily for food, for 2 or 3 meals a day?
Well, I was spending about 20 to 30 on groceries every other day, or sometimes every day.
Okay.
Probably no. I don't know. I'm sorry, I didn't manage that really closely. I grocery shopped all the time, and I'd spend 20 or 30. And the Hyakuen stores are everywhere. Dollar store, Hyakuen, 100 yen, and they have so much stuff. I'd pick up stuff from them all the time. You can get some killer deals in there. I would get quarts of delicious orange juice for $1 or 100 yen and all that. Just really good deals. And so I tried to keep the fridge full. And I'm sorry, I can't tell you exactly how much.
All right, Wes. So how much did you spend on food, like on a daily or just for your whole 6 weeks?
I guess that I probably spent around 1,000 on all miscellaneous stuff like that. I did a lot of my food purchasing at grocery stores, and I just ate out every once in a while. So
okay, yeah, that's cool. I would like to mention that you could save a ton of money just like going to a supermarket and buying, like, they have like bentos there, pre-made meals. In your case, you had a kitchen, so you could cook. So I mean, you don't always have to eat out at luxurious places. And you spent $1,000 for 6 weeks?
Approximately.
I would say you were eating pretty good, because I spend about, just for myself, probably around $300 a month. So
yeah, well, I'm sorry, as I just said, that was miscellaneous stuff too.
Okay.
Yeah, that was train rides to eat and stuff I did when I was out. Yeah, that was pretty much, miscellaneous things.
Okay. Does that include the partying, the hookers, and the shabu shabu?
And the drugs.
Okay.
No.
I got it.
Don't do any of that.
Yeah, don't do drugs in Japan. You'll get in big trouble. You get thrown in jail.
I do not do drugs.
Okay. Oh, are you sure? Okay.
I'm sure.
All right. Well, let's see. Okay, so what's the situation over there? Can you use cash, or can you use credit cards? How was it for you?
Well, you always have to have cash on you in Japan. There's just a lot of places that don't take credit card. I wanted to use credit card because I get miles on my credit card and such whenever I could. And all the konbinis let you use them. The Hyakuen stores, grocery stores let you use your credit card. But if you're in a restaurant, even if it's a nice restaurant, even if it's like a chain or something, there's a very good chance they're not going to take credit card. Very good chance.
Okay. All right. Good advice. All right, man. I think that wraps it up. Is there anything else you'd like to mention about expenses? Oh, you know what? We missed an important topic, man. Your school.
Oh, school.
Yeah, man. How much was your school?
Yeah. Okay, so I went to Japan. I had a week before my school started, and I had a week after it ended. So I just went to school for 1 month at the Intercultural Institute of Japan. Intercultural Institute of Japan. They call it Intercul.
Okay.
They call it Intercul because it's easier to say. And that was it was $200 for the registration fee and $390 for each of 2 weeks. So it was about $980. Now, when I paid for it, the exchange rate went in my favor, so I saved a lot of money. The exchange rate changes all the time, so yeah, save some money there.
All right, Wes. Well, I think that wraps things up. You spent $4,000 for your 6 weeks. Sounds like a pretty good budget. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, thanks for having me on.
Okay, man. Thanks for sharing all this useful information, and leave some links about the Sakura House and maybe your school's link. Or we'll actually, I think we're going to talk about your school and all the details and how awesome and cool it was in a different video. Okay?
That sounds good. I'd like to talk about the Gaijin house too. It's very interesting living in a house full of people visiting Japan.
I'm sure you got lots of good stories, man.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, thanks, Wes.
Later.
Yeah. Later.